This new increase in violence raises questions about the military success of the surge. But more significantly, the purpose of the surge, as announced by President Bush last year, which was to give the Iraqi leaders breathing room to work out a settlement, has not been achieved. The President also pledged to hold the Iraqi government to a number of other political benchmarks which were supposed to be achieved by the end of 2006.
Yet should the United States instead choose to withdraw from Iraq before adequate security is established, we will exchange for this victory a defeat that is terrible and long-lasting. Al-Qaeda in Iraq would proclaim victory and increase its efforts to provoke sectarian tensions, pushing for a full-scale civil war that could descend into genocide and destabilize the Middle East. For only they can. But today, it is possible to talk.
Moreover, as events in the past 2 weeks have reminded us, and as I have repeatedly cautioned, the progress made since last spring is fragile and reversible. Still, security in Iraq is better than it was when Ambassador Crocker and I reported to you last September, and it is significantly better than it was 15 months ago when Iraq was on the brink of civil war and the decision was made to deploy additional forces to Iraq.
He said the Iraqi government planned to take responsibility for security across Iraq by November 2007. The President also pledged to hold the Iraqi government to a number of other political benchmarks which were supposed to be achieved by the end of 2000.
After weighing these factors, I recommended to my chain of command that we continue the drawdown of the surge combat forces, and that upon the withdrawal of the last surge brigade combat team in July, we undertake a 45-day period of consolidation and evaluation.
Are you giving us any ideas to how long that will take? You say over time.
Sir,
could that be a month? Could that be 2 months?
Sir, it could be less than that.
Could it be more than that?
It could be more than that. Again, it's when the conditions are met that we can make a recommendation for further reductions.
Could it be 3 months?
Sir, again, at the end of the period of consolidation and evaluation, it could be right then, or it could be longer. Again, it is when.
Can you? If you could please, we're asking the audience.
Bring them home!
If you could bring the gentleman out. I'm afraid we're going to have to ask him to leave.
Bring them home!
General.
Bring them home! Bring them home!
General, we're going to ask you this question again. Could it be as long as 3 months?
Of freedom in Iraq. I must say, can you now just in simple language tell us, yes, it is worth it, and it is making us safer here at home?
And I took on the task of the privilege of command of multinational force Iraq because I do believe that it is worth it, and I do believe the interests there are of enormous importance, again, to our country, not just to the people of Iraq and the people of that region and the world.
Sir, I'll try and answer that. I believe that there has been significant progress. I believe that it is worth continuing our efforts there, and I believe very strongly that any alternative course of action to that we have laid out deserves the most careful scrutiny by the American people and their representatives, because the consequences could be extremely grave.
Let me
Iraq increasingly is using its own resources to support The agreement will not establish permanent bases in Iraq, and we anticipate that it will expressly forswear them. The agreement will not specify troop levels, and it will not tie the hands of the next administration. Our aim is to ensure that the next president arrives in office with a stable foundation upon which to base policy decisions. And that is precisely what this agreement will do.
Communities has been an important development. As this chart depicts, there are now over